Treasure Coast market update.
You better get fired up.
All right, so we're going to talk about some information that I put up about a week ago in a post. I'm going to share a screen here, and it talks about inventory rates. So let's do this. There we go. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. So what we've got up here is the MLS. This is all of the properties that realtors can see. They've got access to all this data. It's great, helpful information. So when you're reading, and I see them too, man, when you're reading stuff on CNN, on Fox, on Yahoo, on Google, on whatever, and you're seeing this data, I always tell my guys, man, don't read that stuff. That stuff is built to I can't even say the word, sensationalize, either to the good or to the bad, whatever information they can get their hands on, right? And it doesn't always draw a true depiction. So instead, I want you to become an expert. This is me talking to the agents on my team. I want you to become an expert in the MLS. Figure it out. Go get that data yourself, man. Be the expert in your field. So today what I want to do is I want to share some of that information that I pulled from a previous post last week so you guys can see where I'm getting it. We're going to look at Port St. Lucie. A lot of people right now think, hey, Joe, the market's softening, prices are coming down. It's really easy for buyers to come in 10, 20, 30 grand low, and sellers are getting hosed. And I'll tell you, it's not the case. It's not the case, but I'm not going to tell it to you. I'm going to show it to you. And what we're going to do is we're in January, right? So I'm going to look up, because I know everything's closed and all the realtors have caught up and everything. We're going to look at the month of December, 1/1/2022. Oh, that's not December. Let's try 12/1/2022 to 12/31/2022. And you can see in Port St. Lucie, closed properties. Why is it not giving me a number? We've got 386. Okay. Now I'm going to jot this down as we're talking. We got 386 sales in the month of December. All right. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to list. And you'll see on the right, I think it's on the right side here. We should have days right here, right in the center. Days on market, descending. So let's go find the median. So if there's 386 sales, that's 193, whatever the average 193 and 194 is, there's your average days on market to get a home sold in the month of December. And I've got, an asterisk to that too, but we'll talk about it in a second. So 193, 194. So you're talking 31, 32 days is kind of the median there, right? But I want you to realize these are the homes that sold. There were a lot of homes that were on in the month of December that were either overpriced, or they didn't have professional photos, or they're not staged well, or they're not marketed well, or a million other things. And those homes did not sell. So yes, those who were successful and did all the right things and got a negotiated contract, under contract, closed it, they closed in a median time of 31 to 32 days, almost exactly a month, right? If you look on the higher end, honestly, out of 386, how many took more than 2 months to sell? All but 111. So let's pull up the calculator here. 386 minus 111 divided by 386. So 71% of sold homes in the month of December sold in 60 days or less. Let's take a look at 90 days. How many sold in 90 days or less? Right here. All but 53. So we're going to go 386 minus 53 divided by 386. 86.2% sold in 3 months or less. So the majority of homes that are selling in those amount of days, right? So we got 386. I want to break this down by price. So I'm going to come back to edit search. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put these in two distinct different categories, right? And we're going to lose a little bit because I'm going to make a little gap here. And I'm doing it for a reason. I'm going to put this into the first price category, which is anything up to $450,000, not an asking price. I'm sorry, that is an asking price. So let's come to sales price. I'm going to come down here, add field, price, and we're going to sold price. And we're going to go up to $450,000. Okay. So of the 386 that sold, 293 sold for up to $450,000. Okay. Now let's look from $500,000 and up. Here we've got 62 sales. So we are missing a couple in the middle. That's 355. So we're missing 31 in the middle that are between 450 and 500. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because 500 and up tends to be, I mean, 600. I got a lot of people in that price range. That's kind of average, but definitely above average. Anything over 600, it's not as common to see not just those types of buyers in the area, but those types of homes in the area, right? There's only a select few areas, waterfront, PGA Village, some of the stuff up in Torino. There's some areas that have those homes, but the predominant amount of homes in Port St. Lucie are going to be in that up to, maybe 450, $500,000 range. That's absolutely way more than half of the homes that are selling, right? So you can see out let's say 293 here. 293 divided by 386. 76% of the homes that sold in the month of December in Port St. Lucie were up to, I want to do one more thing here too. We're up to $450,000. Now, this is taking into consideration condos, townhouses, modular homes, everything else. I'm going to come down to type, and all we're going to look at is single family homes. Okay. Okay. So we still got 62 at 500 plus. If I bring this to here, and so now we're at 248 because I'm getting rid of some of those condos and townhouses. And if I get rid of sold price and I look at how many total, instead of 386, we're down to 341 on total single family home sales. Okay. Why do I break it into the 450 and the 500 plus? 500 plus is kind of that second time home buyer, people with a little bit more money. They've been saving up. Maybe they got the equity from the first, second, third home that they're rolling into the next home, or maybe they're moving from New Jersey, New York, California, whatever it is, an area where when they sold their home, they sold their probably smaller, not quite as nice home for 7, 8, 900, over $1 million. A lot of people that are coming down that I'm talking to up in New York, especially, are selling their homes for over $1 million. And these homes down here would probably be $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. So for them to come down here, it's incredibly affordable, which is why you can see they don't have a lot of problems paying the prices here. So the locals look at the prices here and they're like, holy smokes, these are expensive. The taxes, holy smokes, it's expensive. But for someone in New York, they're thinking, hey, taxes are half the price. The home prices are half the price. This area is affordable, right? We're also seeing Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. Those folks are looking at the prices that they're paying because their prices have also gone up, just like Port St. Lucie's, right? They're looking at their prices. Man, their homes are $600,000, $700,000, $900,000 now. They can come up to Port St. Lucie. The median price is $400,000. They can get the same home, or maybe even a better home, for a cheaper, much cheaper price. That's why our prices really haven't changed a whole lot, right? We just keep getting this flood. I put an article on my Facebook page today, a flood of people coming in from these higher buck areas. And I know locals have a tough time with the prices here, but man, if you're not from Port St. Lucie, prices here are very, very attractive. So that's why we're seeing this to continue. So what I want to do now is I'm going to come in. We're going to look up to we're going to do this differently because I think we'll get the surprise effect, right? I want to make this somewhat entertaining for you. I know I'm a nerd and I'm talking about nerd numbers here. That's because I put a 0 in there. But at least let's try to make this entertaining. So for the 62 single family homes that sold in December in Port St. Lucie at 500 grand and higher, what is the median days on market? Remember, this does not include homes that didn't sell. Okay. So we're going to come down. The median is going to be 3132, which is 37 days. So we got 37 days in that range. But now let's come over. I'm going to hit edit search, and we're going to look at 0 to 450. This is kind of your first time home buyer area, right? We got 248 homes. So that median number is going to be 124, 125. We got days on market. Okay, let's come down to 124, 125. And we're looking at 28, 29 days. So you can say it takes about a week, maybe a hair longer. For the homes that sell, it takes about a week longer to sell a $500,000 plus home versus a first-time buyer home, first-time home buyer home that is 450 or under. Okay. But now what I want to look at is inventory. Okay. So we nailed down that there's 248 homes up to 450 that's sold. Let's look at that same number for actives. Okay. So Port St. Lucie single family home up to 450. We're going to get rid of sold date and we're going to come up to actives. Guys, are there any other nerds out there who get as excited about this stuff as me? So that's not right. Why isn't that right? Family home. Oh, because we got sold price. I got to go list price. List price up to 450. And we've got 697. Okay. So I'm going to get the calculator out here. And what I'm going to do is say, okay, here's what inventory rates are. Inventory rates are with the inventory we currently have on the market. If nobody was allowed to put a new home on the market and all we had is our current inventory, how long would it take to sell those homes if we sell at the rate of, and here's where you can argue how you're going to do it. I'm going to look at the month of December. You could look at the last 30 days. You could look at the last 7 days. You could look at the last 6 months. You can look at whatever you want, but we're going to look at the month of December, right? So there were 248 sales up to 450 in December, and we've got 697. You can see it right over here that are currently on the market. So 697 divided by 248. You're looking at 2.81 months. We'll just say 2.8 months of inventory. Now, I always say about 4 to 6 months is kind of that neutral market. It's not a buyer's market. It's not a seller's market. Anything under 4 months, and the more so that's true, the more it's a buyer's market. Anything over 6 months, and of course, the bigger it is, the more so it's a buyer's market, right? So right now, with 2.8 months, we are way under that 4 to 6 months. That market, that first-time homebuyer market for single-family homes in Port St. Lucie is unquestionably, I wouldn't say it's a really strong, but it's a very normal seller's market. All right. Doesn't mean you can't negotiate. It doesn't mean you can't get some closing costs paid for. You can do a lot of things, but don't expect these sweet deals. That is not what we're looking at in the first-time homebuyer price range. Now let's look at the same thing, the 500,000 plus. Again, we had 62 sales in the month of December. You can see right here, 401 currently on the market. So 401 divided by that 62, that is 6.5 doggone months. You could maybe argue it's a neutral market. I wouldn't. I would say that it is a weaker buyer's market, which means on a $600,000 home, you're probably not going to get 50, 60 grand off, but you can probably get 10, 20 grand off. If you try. You might not all the time, right? You got to remember some of the stuff lags. I can look up data all day long and you can say, oh, I listened to Joe's video. I know the inventory is high on $500,000 plus, so I'm going to go and I'm going to light up some sellers. But the problem is their education and understanding, and even if they know it, their emotional, I don't know how I would say it, their willingness to let it go, the pressure that they feel hasn't been long enough yet. It just hasn't. I don't really have a whole lot of desperate sellers yet. They're still saying if they want it, they'll pay for it. I remember back in 2008 when the market plummeted, I heard the same thing for a good 6 to 12 months. If they want it, they'll pay for it. I don't know who that is. It's some smoker up in New. If they want it, they'll pay for it. But once that 6 to 12 months sets in, and they felt that pain, they feel that pressure, they're reading the news over and over and over, and it's the same message, which we are not consistently seeing in the news right now. They got it, and they would start negotiating. We just haven't had that pain and pressure placed on sellers long enough yet, certainly not hard enough yet to make it happen. If you're a seller in that $500,000 price range or higher, and you're pricing it right, staging it right, you got a good realtor, you're marketing the crap out of it, you're selling. And you saw earlier, you're selling in 37 days on average, median. Okay. So I do want you to see, if you're in that higher price range, that $500,000 up, and you're in Port St. Lucie, it's going to be a little bit tougher to sell. Not impossible, but get a doggone good realtor. Get someone who knows the market, who knows the prices, who's going to market your property, who's going to get a professional photographer in there, who's going to give you recommendations on what you need to do to prepare your house, and you will be set. You'll sell. Okay. But the days of selling in 2-3 days and getting multiple offers, those days are probably gone for 500,000 plus. If you're in the 450 range or lower in Port St. Lucie, you're in a great position. Disregard all the news. It's not accurate for you in your market. And you've got the data right here from the Port St. Lucie market telling you. So guys, that is about as clear and concise a message as you can get on this market. You can see the great data that we're getting in Port St. Lucie for both those different markets. If you guys have any questions, if you're looking at selling or buying, you're trying to come up with some strategies on how you're going to do it, whether you got another realtor, whether we want to use me, or whether you're trying to do it on your own, feel free always to reach out to me. I want to see you guys be successful. Yes, this is a business. I love commissions. I love closing on homes, but I also love it when I don't make a commission, but some words of wisdom that I gave you or some tip or strategy that I shared got you something. Maybe it got you money, maybe it got you the deal done, it got you whatever it was you wanted, and you are excited because of it. Man, when you call me and tell me that, when you send me a Facebook DM, when you send me a text, an email, whatever, oh, that's where it's at, man. It feels good. So if there's any way I can ever help you, let me know. There is your Florida Treasure Coast market update for the week. If you guys want me to go over any specific stats next time, just let me know what those stats are. More than happy to review those next week. Guys, have an absolutely phenomenal week. Take care.